Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky tells the story of Rodion Raskolnikov, a young, impoverished former student in 19th century St. Petersburg. Petersburg, who becomes entangled in a profound moral struggle. Brilliant but tortured, Raskolnikov is frustrated with society and develops a radical theory. He believes that extraordinary individuals have the right to transgress moral laws if it benefits humanity. Convinced that he falls into this elite category, he decides to test his theory by murdering an old pawnbroker, Alyona Ivanovna. Raskolnikov justifies this crime by seeing Alyona as a corrupt, exploitative figure, a parasite whose wealth, if taken, could help him escape poverty and potentially fund noble deeds. After convincing himself of the righteousness of his plan, he finally carries out the murder. However, things go terribly wrong. Alyona's innocent sister, Lizaveta, walks in on the crime, and he is forced to kill her too. Raskolnikov, horrified by what he has done, barely escapes. Instead of feeling triumphant, he is consumed by terror, guilt, and a deep sense of dread. The murder marks the beginning of Raskolnikov's psychological unraveling. He is plagued by fever and delirium, which deepen his isolation from his family and friends. Unable to shake the sense of guilt, he grows paranoid, interpreting everyday events and people's reactions as signs they suspect him. As he withdraws further into himself, Raskolnikov's beliefs about morality begin to fracture, and his initial confidence in his superiority fades. Adding to his torment, Raskolnikov is increasingly troubled by his sister, Dunya, and her suitor, Luzhin. Luzhin is manipulative and self-serving, and Raskolnikov tries to protect Dunya from him, though he's too ensnared in his own troubles to be effective. He soon finds himself entangled in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with Porfiry Petrovich, a clever and observant investigator who suspects Raskolnikov of the murder. Porfiry's subtle, probing questions unsettle him and draw him closer to the brink of a confession. Amidst his growing paranoia, Raskolnikov encounters Sonya Marmeladov, a poor but deeply compassionate young woman forced into prostitution to support her family. Sonya's unwavering kindness and her strong religious faith unsettle Raskolnikov, as he sees in her a quiet strength and moral clarity that challenge his own worldview. Sonya becomes a symbol of hope and redemption, her presence urging him to confront his guilt and seek forgiveness. Eventually, overwhelmed by guilt, Raskolnikov confesses his crime to Sonya, who encourages him to admit his wrongdoing to the authorities and to begin his journey toward redemption. Her gentle influence and unwavering belief in him play a crucial role in guiding him toward accountability. Reluctantly, Raskolnikov turns himself in, and he is sentenced to a Siberian labor camp, where Sonya continues to support him, even following him to Siberia. During his time in prison, Raskolnikov begins to experience the possibility of transformation. Though still struggling with resentment and bitterness, he slowly opens himself to the possibility of change, influenced by Sonya's faith and love. Her loyalty and compassion help him realize that his earlier theories were flawed, and that true greatness comes not from asserting one's superiority over others, but from acknowledging one's humanity and need for love, forgiveness, and redemption. The novel ends with Raskolnikov beginning to understand the value of repentance, hinting that his journey toward redemption is just beginning. Dostoevsky suggests that while crime can drive a person to the brink of despair, there is a path back through humility, connection, and faith. Through Raskolnikov's descent and gradual rise, Crime and Punishment explores the psychological and moral impact of guilt and the possibility of spiritual rebirth through suffering. Ultimately, it is a story of human frailty, the lure of redemption, and the power of love to lead even the most lost souls back to hope.